So I'm doing this Sunday live from the couch quite casually. It's been a big week this week and a really fun one. I did a couple of conferences, particularly with the guys at Groupon, who I love doing work with. In fact, it was their sixth conference. I think I've done all of them. And the first one, we had just their sales guys 6 years ago. And the theme was pretty much the same. And it kind of made me think about today's topic. And that is being the best version of yourself and breaking limitations and glass ceilings. And the guys put some awesome content together and had a couple of great speakers on that. I thought I'd just share some quick ideas around that if you're looking to do that. And I think it's important too, being the best version of yourself. The first thing is stop counting. I know Chris Penfold, my collaborator at the gym, would agree with this one, is that if you stop counting repetitions of pushing weights at a gym, you can push more. Like, we put these numbers in our head and it limits us. So first way to be a best version of yourself is stop counting. Stop counting all aspects. Stop looking at the clock. If you're halfway through a task, get it done, finish it. If you've got energy, do a little bit more. So stop counting, stop looking at the clock, and just start giving it your all every time. And when you take your eye off that number, it's amazing how much further you can go and what else you can achieve. You could take that theme to the next one, which is stop counting, quick take and score on social media as well. People get so bombarded with looking great on social, but I still think turning up and being best version of yourself live, unless your business is pure digital, thriving live is where it's at. Be vocal on social, but thrive live. There's so many cases where people have been caught out. Belle Gibbs, the Lance Armstrongs and stuff. Popularity is not an indication of competence in and of itself, and it takes consistency in turning up and doing that live. And so really put more of an effort of what you're doing live versus what you're doing on digital. Next one would be nobody knows everything. If you want to be a better version of yourself, accept nobody knows everything. People that have an opinion on everything, maybe could step back, start asking more questions, because it's okay to not know the answers. I learned that in tour years and years ago with Kentucky. I used to, in my first couple of years, thinking you've got to have an answer for everything. Then you realize nobody does, and it's okay to sometimes say you don't know, and then either find the people who do know or find out what you need to, but don't think you have to have an opinion on everything, because that's called humility as well, and that goes with being best version of yourself. I think this one is a key to this, which is challenging our limits. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have what we perceive as limits, and important to challenge those on a regular basis and challenge them to either achieve them for yourself or challenge them with the intent, again, of having the best collaborators that help you achieve success. I know that for me, the parts and elements of my business I'm successfully turning out these last few months, people are saying they're seeing so much. It would not be possible if that was not for the lights of Ryan Jenkins at Digital Eagles, Ollie Brazier, Oxygen Social, Deb Gillen, my artist, who miraculously finished work with me with a broken hand. Talk about challenging your limits. So challenge your own limits and find collaborators who support you in that and that can do that for you as well. I think for me, and this is a lifelong lesson, that's one I'm super passionate about, is I know when I go and do any sort of talk on stage, I give it everything I've got. Anybody who sees me live would understand that. I give every audience my entire energy every single time, because that's what they deserve. I'm not going to see them again and they deserve it. I'm respecting their time and try and give them it. But I've also learned by being that over a long period that not everybody gets it. People will judge you when you're your best, and that's okay, let them. And sometimes people will criticize you, and that's okay, let them. And people may have a misinterpretation or a misunderstanding of what you're trying to do, and that's okay too. People are just naturally suspicious sometimes, especially when you're being kind. And a lot of those limitations on their part have to do with their life experiences in their past and absolutely nothing to do with you. And so I have learned the hard way at times that being the best version of yourself doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to appreciate you, love you, or get it. And yet it's no excuse to not be, because I do believe that consistency in being your best will come back and they'll get it in the end. So that's just a few ideas, I think, of challenging yourself, being the best version of yourself. And I guess as a final one, I mentioned this was a big week. Anytime I have a lot of stage stuff, I do get a bit run down. This one was particularly self-reflective couple of days for me as well, and I needed some time out. And so for me, I think being the best version of yourself is also time out for yourself to do what you love. And so on that note, I did what I love to do. I just flopped on the couch, hence why I'm still here. I've almost finished reading this book, Many Lives, Many Masters, which was a recommendation from David right over in Andorra. So David and Lisa, thanks for that recommendation. I'm virtually done, and you're right, great book. Anyway, guys, I hope that gives you some ideas. And again, I know that when I started doing my Sunday Lives for this year, I really encourage, I hope my friends and people in my circle really find a way to challenge whatever it is they're afraid of doing this year and break through it. And this theme is definitely about that. So I look forward to speaking to you again next Sunday. Have a great week meantime.